great to have you back on the show, Pearl. And dealing with the hurricane, dealing with the challenges getting to November. At least it's November 1st, and we are 2 months away to the end of the year. And this is an absolutely important time, when you agree, Pearl, to really refocus yourself and get
Yeah.
going. Mhm.
Oh my God, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, 100%. I mean, we have so many things upcoming that we're really going to be honing into 2025 for sure. But like people tend to wait until January. They're like, oh, it's January 1st. I'll start setting my goals. And I tell my clients, no, you have to start October. Like I already started reviewing my stuff. Yeah, hurricane kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm playing catch up with my homework that I usually do in October, which includes forward thinking. What do I want the first half of 25? And then what do I have to do to get those steps together? And then overall, what do I want for the year and the next 3 years? People talk about doing 5 years out. For me personally, it's too far out. I do 6 months, a year, and 3 years. And so that way I feel like when you can sort of hone into that, you start identifying where you need to focus. You start identifying what areas do I need to focus on? And then what I do with my clients when I coach them is we say, okay, now we've got the areas. Then we go, what's the priority? Where is the priority? Because you could pick 5 things to work on, but if you work on all 5 things, you're not going to do one thing the right way. So we talk about what are the top 5 things and what's the top one, and then we go from there and setting up their goals, setting up due dates and things like that. I mean, Neil, you work backwards, right? Like when you're planning an event, like I'm already talking about my retreat for next year. We're already working backwards. What do I'm already there. What's supposed to have happened? So we're working backwards with that date when we work on our goal setting.
Totally. Okay, that's a great point, and you got to address those things, and you make those changes. And I think a lot of times we get caught up with so many ideas and so many people we want to hear from, either the short video or a podcast, that we really don't have that person to really talk to kind of before we make a move. In
Yeah.
anything in life. Oh, I just saw this on TikTok. Explain, Pearl, how that's not the best way than having a coach who's going to really guide you.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you guys. Social media, that's I say it's fake, because not it's happening on there me half the time. If you really look at those people, they're not authentic. I mean, I was just reading an article the other day where this girl, I don't think she's in Texas or something, she's going to go to jail because she she liked somebody that did something as well as she did, and she felt like they were coming against what she was doing. So she wanted to take and she harmed that person, right? So the people on TikTok and people on social media, they're listen, I'm authentic, so I'm like, when I watch those people, I'm like going, I can almost pick out who's not being honest, because if you go research them and look at their true postings on their personal page, that's not who they're showing up on these TikToks and stuff, right? It's just like, I have this digital marketing program. It's an amazing program. It's something that's helping me grow my business. And also I can resell it to others. And you and I have talked about it. But if I did everything they say, like, oh, you can make $900 a day, is that realistic? It can be if you do the right hours. Me, I tell my clients, if we're going to work on this, let's set a realistic goal. My realistic goal is to make $900 a week on it, right? And I do average that. So you can't believe everything you're seeing and reeling, because people want to look the part, but are they really living the part?
No, and that's right. Look the part or living the part. And at the end of the day, you got to show your true thing. And I think that's where you said you were focusing on things. So let's kind of jump into specifically enough. Your spots for the retreat for next year are almost gone. Explain that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're more than halfway full on our retreat for next year. We're so excited. We're actually bringing it back to Tampa, Florida. And so that's where I started, 8 years ago. So next year, our ninth retreat is going to be in Tampa, Florida. We're going to max out again at 25 attendees, 25 women. But the really cool thing is the day prior, we're actually going to do a summit. It's sort of a mini PJ summit where we're going to have the people who are coming to the retreat get to come, but we're going to have those that maybe can only come for a day. And we're going to have amazing speakers talking about finance, talking about sexual self-care, talking about how to say no to others. We're actually going to have even people who have attended the retreat that have overcome so much in their life, and how attending the retreat and how putting themselves first finally has made a huge shift in her life. We have somebody who's going to speak about leaving a domestic violence situation and how she went from maybe making, 300 to, dollars a week to now she's making over 5 figures a month, and she's bought her first house. So we're going to have people like that speaking and sharing how when you put yourself first, when you show up for yourself, how you can have great success, but it's a ripple effect because what happens is you turn around and you show up for 100% more for your family, for your friends, for your life, right? And so you're not stressed out, you're not overwhelmed. So we're going to have amazing speakers like as well. We even this year for next year's retreat, okay, this is really cool, Neil. I haven't told you this. We actually have a VIP room where you get your own suite in the house and it has your own refrigerator, it has your own living room all set up. So we have a VIP, so we added that this year as well.
A lot of great things. And I guess by already talking about the retreat before it even is 2025, probably it's going to be filled in a couple months. So we got to
Oh,
act right now.
100%. So if they want to get that spot. In fact, right now, Neil, when you put this up, we have this year's price for next year's retreat. It's only up until November 15th. So if you want to be part of that, you just have to go to wslivingretreats.com and you can have access to this year's price for next year's retreat. We were going to end it for October 30th, but because of the hurricanes and everything, we decided to expand it out a little bit more.
All right, let's go right now to the Shiro League. That's year round and it keeps you busy every week. And do you have a community like, I guess, where finally, when you fill the retreat, how many Shiro members can you take before, you're going to have to get in a waiting list?
Right. So if you attend the retreat, the Shiro League is part of your retreat package. However, if you can't attend a retreat, I don't want you to miss out on the amazing things that we do at the Shiro League. So the Shiro League, actually, I'm going to give you a little history, Neil. It started during COVID. I saw so many women struggling, going, "Oh my gosh, I got to now teach my kids, and I don't. I send them to school. I'm not a teacher, and I have to be home with my kids and my spouse 24 hours a day, 7 days a week." I called it I have this Calgon take me away moment, but I cannot leave. And so we started this 30-day self-care challenge. And at the end of 30 days, like every day we did something for self. Every Sunday evening we would meet and before I had the Shiro League acronym already together, but we would meet for an hour. So at the end of 30 days, the ladies were like, well, what are we going to do now? We can't leave each other. So the Shiro League started because we wanted to continue to support women who have amazing things happening in their life, but sometimes we have challenges that show up. Sometimes we struggle to put ourselves first. We talk about self first, overcoming people pleasing, stop being a stickler in your life, don't control everything. And so every Sunday evening we meet and we from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. There's no recording of the Zoom, but the Shiro League is we can have as many people as we want. And that's just a great way because it's a group coaching program, because it's online, we can have as many people we want. So we have ladies from all over Connecticut, Texas, we have California, Florida, of course. So there's no limit on joining the Shiro League and being part of that program because it's just a great way if you don't have time or you feel like you never have coached with somebody before. It's a great way to sort of dabble your feet, get your feet wet and be like, I want to see what coaching looks like. Because, like you said earlier, Neil, there's so many times that we need help, but we don't know how to reach out for help, or we don't know who to contact, or I've never used a coach before. And it's a great way to just kind of be introduced to that realm of coaching without having to feel like you've got this huge commitment.
And that commitment can be a big, big, big uh thing. And that's why the league every week you're gonna build that community and build the mix. You have another big program coming up, this mini coaching program. Explain that. What's going on with that?
Yeah. So again, going back to, so many people, so many women especially struggle with understanding what coaching is. And so they don't know where to start. And maybe they don't want to be part of a group, but they just want, can I just talk to somebody? So our mini coaching session is for that woman who, if you are struggling to make time for yourself, you don't have time to go, on a Sunday evening, you don't know what coaching looks like. We started this mini coaching session. It's 30 minutes, a session. And listen, you do pre-work before you join me on that call because that 30 minutes, I want it to be productive. I want to know when you come in that call, what things bring you joy and what things you need to release so that when we get there on that 30-minute mini coaching session, we're going to dive deep in really fast because I want you to leave that call with action steps. And I remember when just started out coaching, when I started, I brought my own coach on. I remember leaving sometimes going, man, I just spent that time and all they did was get to know me. I didn't feel like I had any action steps. And so when I created the mini coaching session, I wanted women to come in there for 30 minutes and really work hard. We're not going to spend time getting to know each other. I'm going to say, you said this to me. This is what I see. What are your thoughts? Where do you want to start first? And then that way you have action steps when you leave that phone call. And so it's $97 for 30 minutes, really inexpensive. And if you want more sessions, you could even get 5 sessions up front right away if you really want to dig deep. And those are only $375.
So that's awesome. I love it. It's a definite game changer for you to see if this is really something you're interested in coaching. I think, Pearl, the biggest thing is if you hire the right coach. You've been doing this for years and you really focus on the woman. A lot of coaches that say they're life coaches have one specialty. You really can, but then they don't have a community and a community that meets weekly. It's not like a lot of times there's just group coaching and not this. You'll get a taste of what's happening and why having a one on one coach like you is so important because a lot of people don't do one on one coaching and say, oh, this is something I really want to do compared to paying a therapist X, right? And getting nothing out of it, that you're going to understand their struggles. And this mini coaching program will give them an idea if this is worth something that they want to invest time in, maybe in one on one coaching, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. We were talking about that yesterday. I have a friend who went to go see a therapist for something that they're working through, and they came back and they said, "Man, they didn't even ask me any kind of questions. They just threw me for testing and they want to throw a drug at me, right?" And so I don't want to be that. I want to be that drug that says, I have action steps. I feel like I was heard. I feel like somebody cares about me, and I feel like, I can talk to somebody about what's happening. Oftentimes, I'll have women come to me that have coached with somebody else before and I'm like, okay, so why me? Why do you want to work with me? And I'm authentic on my social media. I mean, Neil, you know me a long time. I talk about my highs. I talk about my lows. I talk about the loss of our son. I talk about my son's wedding just recently. I'm authentic. And that's one thing they'll say. They say, Pearl, I coach with somebody for so long, but they're not doing the things you teach. They're not doing the things they coach. When I look at you in your social media, you're talking about and I see you doing and I see you in circles and I see you showing up exactly as you're sharing. And so that's what I want everybody to know is that when you coach with me, I am who I am. I'm going to coach you the same way I'm coaching myself. The tools I give you, I apply to my life as well.
Yeah. So and that's the important thing. Apply what you learn at the end of the day, and figure it out. And you're authentic, Pearl. And you've been doing this for a while. Everyone now, this is really the scary thing. There's so many coaches out there because so many people are going, I just got unemployed. I'm going to try this without really building that following, those
Right.
testimonials, everything. So people can go right now, ProAware, and they can sign up today for all the different programs we talked about.
Yeah, so they can go to the retreat. Of course, go to wslivingretreats.com. You can get all the information there. If you want to know about the Shiro League, it's just wsliving.com/Shiro. And if you want to know about the mini coaching session, all you have to do is email me at info@wsliving.com and just put mini in the subject line, and I will get you that information.
And lastly, your digital marketing course. 1 minute to talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, the digital marketing course is so much fun. It's really a blueprint. It's just a copy and paste. I think it's great. So if the business person is listening is like, I don't know how to do social media, and maybe they can't afford to hire somebody to help them with social media, it's a great investment that helps them learn, the call to action, how to get the hook, how to talk about what they're doing in simplicity and not overwhelmed, right? And so it's great for that building of your social media. But if you're somebody who needs a residual income as well, you could certainly resell it and make additional money on it too.
All right. Appreciate it, Pearl. Thanks again.